In the last few days, Nigeria has witnessed a rising conflagration in some parts of the country, particularly in the southwest, where tensions are now high with the eviction ultimatum to the Fulanis in the area and subsequent carnage which saw the destruction of properties worth millions. Sunday Igboho, the man in the eye of the storm, has come under fire as the Inspector General of Police has ordered his arrest. What is the cause of the renewed tension in the region? Is it politics or ethnicity? Are the Fulanis now the endangered species in the country? What are truly responsible for, or are they responsible for, or truly responsible for most of the insecurity in the country? Also recently, the Eastern Security Network, allegedly formed by the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB movement, again clashed with security operatives in Imo State. What were the perimeters for the establishment of such security outfits, and who gave them permission to carry prohibited firearms? How do we resolve this quagmire? This and more will be our focus on Security Dossier today on Television Nigerian. I am Lawrence Audu. The program continues after this timeout.
Is Television Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seat and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your #1 choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on Nigecomsat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT.
Welcome back to Security Dossier on Television Nigerian, the program that focuses on security issues in and around the country, as well as efforts of security agencies in the protection of lives and in the defense of the territorial integrity of the country. You can also follow the conversation on all our social media handles, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. The tension between the Fulanis and the Yorubas in the southwest following the eviction order and the clash between security forces and IPOB's Eastern Security Network will be our focus today on the program. And to do justice to this, are two gentlemen journalists and public affairs analysts. I have from my far right, Mr. Peggy Shandi. Welcome to Security Dossier.
Thank you very much for having me.
And in the middle, I have our one and only Daniel Atai, the host of Spectacle. Welcome to Security Dossier.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you have been following all the trends. Mr. Peggy, I would like to start with you. In the entire southwest part of the country, we're going to come to the southeast shortly. And if we have all the time, we'll banter on some of the issues around the northern region. But today we're looking at the southwest, to be precise. You saw the recent ultimatum that was given to the Fulanis to leave. Yes, there's been issues of kidnapping, for ransom and all kinds of security-related issues in that area, as well as the entire country. Now, what informed that decision to issue ultimatum to the Fulanis? Don't forget that Sunday Igboho, one man who is in the eye of the storm, and Governor Rotimi Akeredolu also issued similar threats, asking them to leave the forest. But in the case of Sunday Igboho, he went after the Fulani settlement, in fact, led a squad that even destroyed the residence or the palace of the Serikin Fulani in that region. What informed that decision?
Thank you very much, the producer of Security Dossier. It's a beautiful moment and opportunity that I have to be on your program. Nigeria is having regional struggles, and everybody's intending to superintend over its region. You know, there has been a lot of clamor for, you know, regionalization. Once upon a time, Nigeria actually had regionalization, you know, regions. Everybody's superintending over. We had the Western region that was headed by, in blessed memory, Awolowo. And sometime in the system, there was a mid-Western region still created to tell you how powerful it was. Very important to have regional, you know, superintendency at the time. The East also are facing the annihilation, having gone through the wars and coup d'etat. Still a security problem, challenge, and it has, you know, been hunting them over time. And the northern region, which had the biggest landmass and also dominating politically, it's a threat to other regions that are not big enough and small. And then the proliferation of the immigration of these nomadics to those vegetation that have food, in other words, a chawa for the cattle. And then understanding that the Yoruba, which is the western region, is the region that consumes more of these cattle. They consume it in the most celebrated manner, which is the bomo, the shaki. And that's the reason why you see that the northerners now understand that, oh, the market is very well in the west. So they now began to move into the places where you have this market. And you know that in the whole Nigeria, the highest point of sale that the cattle is marketed is in the south, west.
Now, to get back to the point, what informed this recent eviction order by, I mean, a governor issued an ultimatum, and then somebody from somewhere, I don't want to call him from nowhere, also issued the same threat. And his own, you know, he followed it through. In fact, some lives have been lost. Properties worth millions of naira have also been destroyed.
Okay,
how did we get to this point?
I'll answer you. Thank you very much. Sunday, whatever his name is, Igboho, Sunday Igboho, is a young man born in 1972. He's not a very old man yet. But he has possessed mystical powers. He has assumed himself as the Kente of the Root, if you have watched the Root.
Counter Kente.
Counter Kente, exactly. There's one thing, the Counter Kente says, two things that are very important. The day that you were born and why.
Sure.
Sunday, what's his name again? Igboho is loved by the Yoruba kingdom because of the mystical powers that he has. He did not issue that ultimatum or order without the governors. Don't forget. He rose up and said that he is in charge to protect the territory of the West.
Now, can you protect the territorial integrity of a particular region without the support of the powers that be? I'm talking about the governors, the constituted authorities.
First of all, what are we talking about here? Like you rightly said, the clamor for regionalism has been onset since 2015, since the inception of this administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. No doubt about that. A lot of people play roles like, we don't want this government. This government came by hook and crook, asserting several and different assertions, hitting the polity high, how some even libeled, blackmailed, several antics that brought President Muhammadu Buhari into power, not viewing the fact that Nigerians actually massively voted him. Nevertheless, the expectations, like Oliver Twist, from the masses, that what we actually voted Buhari for has not actually been attained. Notwithstanding, it hasn't gotten to the extent to which people will begin to clamor for regionalism. The constitution that binds us together is the federal constitution, and we are practicing federal system of government in the country. That clamor for sectionalism, that clamor for regionalism, that clamor for tribalism or ethnicity is what led to the various security architecture, regional securities that you are seeing today being, put in place by regional governors.
Now, before we get to the issue of, I'll just give you a minute to land.
Okay.
But if you would hold it a bit, I want to ask, there is a clamor, generally. The southwestern part of this country came up with the Amotekun security outfit.
Yes.
Today, the eastern, in the northern part, I don't know any of any security outfit per se that has been, but of course you have the Hisba police that is being, perpetrated by
the Shege
Kasafa.
They came up.
That one, the northern leaders crushed those guys immediately because they knew the danger of having, a parallel security outfit, as against the state. They know what that can cause. You have in the northern part of the country, you have people from all over the country who live in the north. They have worked here, they have done a lot of things, and they have families here. So if you have Shege Kafasa, right, a group like that comes up shortly after the Amotekun, what is the security of, how can you guarantee that people outside this region can be safe? Now that's one. Now with all this clamor for regionalism and what have you, Mr. Peggy, I'm coming to you now.
Okay.
Where do we draw the line between politics and ethnicity?
I was trying to land.
Please just land, and then maybe you take it up from there.
I was trying.
How do we draw the line?
Yeah, drawing the line.
Land first.
And before we talk about drawing that line, so if you look at that moment where a lot of persons started, not just ordinary persons, it started from the opposition party to the government of the day. They brought in the word restructuring. That word restructuring began to receive different meanings to different persons and to different quarters. Not defining that word restructuring. Today, the northern man will see restructuring just like the Mietiala, Katakuri, Secretary General Katahuri said. See, the FG, in fact, the federal government should restructure the country so that they, Fulanis, can go their way. Now, that perception means to him division. To the southwestern people, restructuring is another antics of let's go down to the Constitution and make further amendment in the Constitution. Amendments that will enthrone fairness, equity, power rotation per se, perhaps. Amendments that will see human rights being enthroned, federal characters being explicitly apportioned. To the middle Beltans or the North Central Zone, restructuring means, yes, we too will want to have a share of the presidency. Are we being considered in the long run? Should the presidency rotate just between the South and the North? So to many regions and to quarters, restructuring means different things.
Sure.
But I and you, who are analysts, journalists, we know that restructuring is just simple to go to the status quo and make things perfect the way it should be. Having said that, because of this ill feeling, especially at the Southwest, they have eyes on 2023.
Sure.
The Southeast, too, have eyes on Biafra.
And
they also have eyes
presidency.
They have eyes on two things from the Southeast.
Exactly.
Because you have IPOB there, and they have security network already. Now, the IPOB is their militant arm of the Southeast. They have eyes on Biafra, secession. The Ndigbo could pretend, I say pretend because there is no smoke without fire around you.
Sure.
To say, okay, we have eyes on the presidency, and if we don't get it,
we go this way.
We go this way.
Now, I'd like you to end with that point so that I can take Mr.
Thank you
for We talked about drawing the line.
Yeah.
When do we say this is politics? When do we say this is ethnicity? When do we actually say we are serious with what we want to do?
Thank you again. It is difficult to separate politics in anything, but everything is politics. So the question itself may be having issues, because in the church, even in our families, even where we're sitting here in politics, once they're going to give you a brown envelope, it's enough to do the media job. Some people do the job in some cases. No, I'm not referring to us here. I'm not at all. Brown envelopes are very wonderful. They can decide to change the story. Delegiwa is a very good example of someone who doesn't mind. He doesn't care if the brown envelope. He had to publish the story on a woman that was lied to by the president that she was dead. Went to the London and found this lady and then had to come to publish. That's why he died. All right. Where to draw the lines? It's so difficult, to be very, very honest with you. There should be a draw line. Because, like it or not, the West enjoy the North. Even the Mayatala. Because if the Fulanis do not have cows to rear, then the Yorubas or the West will not have the Kwamo and the Ishaki that they have. Therefore, there should have been a drawing line in their minds, even in the way they act, to remember that if these Fulanis move away, the ultimatum they gave to them, they move away, no more Ishaki and Kwamo.
Not just that. Please, let me take you on this.
Yes.
What is the implication for Southwesterners living in the northern part of the country. So now it has started.
The implication is civil war.
It is going to degenerate into a civil war in case not taken.
The negative implication is civil war. And what people who are clamoring for regionalism do not understand is that already amendment of restructuring, which is in its original meaning, is ongoing at the National Assembly as we speak. Whereas people like what do you call it, Femi Fani Kayode and the likes, who are Christians like me, have not seen the danger of their words. Let me tell us, if you want to know how war looks like, maybe you have not experienced one, or you experienced when you were a baby.
I never experienced war.
I'm not talking about you now. People who are inciting war.
I've seen crises. All the crises that took place in Jos, I saw them.
Whether they are Mieti Allah, trying to create crisis for the administration, for this government, whether they are IPOB, whether they are Motekun, whether they are Southwestern people, whether they are Southeastern men or South, whether they are Shege Kafasa and Boko Haram. I believe that Boko Haram are facing the heat with the Nigerian army right now.
Yeah.
They know what is war now. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we the ordinary citizens who are today prowling the street, enjoying ourselves, we have not seen where bomb just pass your side yet. Bomb, ordinary atomic bomb. Not even ordinary AK-47 9mm. Let it pass through you first, or pass through your baby. Then you will know that, yes, you have to embrace peace.
You will not be proud to say it.
I'm telling you. You will be embracing peace. You will be looking for peace at all costs. Let them go and watch war movies. Let me tell us, there is no country like Nigeria in the world yet. And if we don't want to live in peace right now by every means possible, that the government will actualize that peace, then we must have to learn it now. Otherwise, you know what will happen? The foreign countries, for the lion to feed, something must have to die.
Sure.
The African continent and countries is like a fertile ground to testing weapons. Go to Sudan, weapon, they are on the Libya. Let's take example for Libya, Sudan, South Sudan. People are selling weapons on the just outside black market.
Bullets are measured in mudus.
Bullets are measured in mudus, but they have never, these Western people and I don't know how the power players that incite wars from one country to the other because of the economic benefit they target to get. They have never sent you mudus of rice, mudus of whatever food to enjoy.
If they send you those things, it is for them to gain access.
That is why I said for the lion to feed,
something must die.
Something must have to
Mr.
die.
Peggy Shandy.
Yes, please.
What are the political permutations when you talk about the issues, the conflagration taking place in the southwest now? The Igbo guy is rumored to have been working for one of the big wigs in the Nigerian politics. Now, it's in the open, so there's no point even shielding from the fact. It's been alleged that he works for Tinubu. And because Tinubu is not going to get the presidency, or he's working, or his desperation to become president in 2023, it's waning, it's losing grip. So he needed to do something that will get to the people at the top. What is the correlation between, what do you call the relationship between what's going on and 2023?
Thank you very much for that very important question. I will not accept that assertion, neither will I reject it. I will accept it somehow and then also reject it. Do you know why? The Sunday man, the Sunday Igbo, became very popular in 96, 97 during the Mudakeke riot. War. It was more terrible than the ultimatum they given to Fulanis to move out of here. It was worse than this. And he came out. That young man would just lift up his hand and say, "Ayah!" Then you just see guns and men just fighting and killing people. He started getting those powers from that time. And I want to tell you that Ladoke loved him so much. All the southwestern
Now we're getting closer to
so I don't want to believe that from that time, where was Tinubu in the picture?
No, you know, Tinubu is a factor that you cannot just dismiss with a wave of
hand. In the West.
What I'm saying is this. He was there even in 93, in the days of MKO Abiola, even before that time. And we knew all, his antecedents. Now, he was, from an article I read this afternoon, Tinubu helped, to ease the military out by setting a propaganda that were carried out, including the issue of the Ife-Modakeke. At that time, there was crisis in the country, and don't forget that it was during the military regime.
It was during the military regime, of course.
And he was very instrumental, even with the issue of the radio Kudira, the guerrilla radio.
Of course, yes.
So it is like the same thing is about to repeat itself again.
Well,
don't forget that these guys, in the guise of pro-democracy activists, took off and left the country. And they also came back after a while when things seemed to be all right. And by 1999, they perpetuated themselves back in power again. He became governor, ruled Lagos for 8 years, established himself, and then had
the region.
And of course, we cannot take away the fact that he has played a very important role in the present administration of kicking against the last administration we had that a lot of Nigerians wanted out, But today, it's like a similar scenario. I'm not making a case, but I'm just thinking that there's a similar scenario that is being played out again from the Nadeko era. And you mentioned this guy, you mentioned way back 96,
yes,
Ife-Modakeke and what have you. Even the days of Abdusalami Abubakar, they tried to even mediate and bring peace to those areas. Yeah, the history is replete of these things. Is it a repeat of what went wrong? Please make your point, and Mr. Dan, and after that we'll go for a break.
Thank you very much. So what point do you want me to make again? To continue with what?
Politics,
the politics or not.
2023 or not.
So you think that if a politician like the likes of Tinubu, who contributed to make the presidency that we have today, knows very well the powers that he was able to protect the region, the West, to make it to be what it is today. And then the East are feeling like, okay, we have not gotten a dose of this presidency. Are we not Nigerians? And you think it's not enough reason for the region to begin to... Anytime you see agitations, know that something is wrong.
Good.
Please go ahead. Something is wrong. Once there are agitations, something is wrong somewhere.
Yes.
I have not gotten what belongs to me.
Yes.
Can't you see? Can't you see, Nigerians, can't you see?
Yes.
Something is wrong and you are keeping quiet. So I'm going to communicate in another way until the world listens, even if it means getting anything down. You said something would die, if something would die.
I said for the lion to feed.
For lion to feed.
Something must have to
the one
to
that
be
becomes
killed.
the food, it has to be killed.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Mr. Dan.
When you talk about political colorations to these insecurity issues, it began long ago. It began long ago. You saw how the power was rifted from the ruling power then, ruling political parties then, party per se. And of course you saw several people they turned to sent messiah of the country. I'm talking about corrupt people, people that have been, corruption have been very endemic in them, to the extent that nothing like country or patriotism is in their spirit. Suddenly they became saints. We saw them. In this country, they are still living with us. So the tendency for such people to even create security mayhem and crisis for this administration is 100%. That apart. Then on Bola Tinubu issue, no doubt, Tinubu may have history, awkward history of coming from a background of toutism or the background of charlatanism or whatever background. Even right now, it might not be unconnected, but the primary cause of this very issue in Ondo and Oyo is the Miyetti Allah encroachment, trespass. When you trespass unjustly and damages are caused, or the issue of installation of king in a region or geographical location that is not perhaps originally yours, people may read meaning to it that you are trying to extend your oligarchy or traditional, what do they call it, authority. By that, people of that area, of that region, may ordinarily rise up in defense or try to checkmate the power that you are trying to introduce. Please, don't be in a hurry.
It's okay.
Bola Tinubu
There's no time.
has that financial muscle to cause any crisis he wants to cause in the country. But if you look at the man himself, and you look at his antecedents, and you look at the people that surrounds him, you will not discover that this man is a technocrat. Because it's only leader that can build leaders. Leaders that have no followers and don't know how to mentor leadership, to me, they are not leaders.
That's right.
However, the power of 2023 that the southwestern region seeks, if we say power should go to the east, to the southern part of the country, 2023, the eastern part are supposed to be the one that we cede power to. But have they put their house in order is another factor. The factor of IPOB, the factor of their political party,
we're going to come to the
and so on and so forth. And that is where Tinubu is beginning to see, and the Southwest is beginning to see, that we have built blocks. Blocks that enthrone President Muhammadu Buhari is one. The northern blocks is two. Then the architecture of the political party in the Southwest, the whole of the Southwest, is APC. That is another third block.
Now, what block has the Southeast been able
in Southwest,
what block?
That kind of block is not there in the Southeast.
No,
it's not even that 55% in the South.
I'll have to stop.
So this is where Tinubu is trying to gun it for, whether by peace or by force.
We need to take a very quick break. You have been watching Security Dossier, and it's a very interesting topic. We're talking about the conflagration in the Southwest, and also we're also looking at the political coloration involving that crisis with the Fulanis and the indigenous Yorubas in the Southwest. When we come back, we shall be looking at the issue of the Eastern Security Network, where Nnamdi Kanu has allegedly established, and these guys are carrying arms. Already we understand that a few security operatives have been killed. I'm talking about the national security operatives. And there's a military operations ongoing at the moment. Yes, there are insinuations on the social media, saying certain things utterly different from what is the reality on ground. When we come back, we shall take a look at all this. Please stay with us.
thing. Just talk.
This is that. This no.
You don't get beat down.
The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, a separatist organization founded in 2012, appears to have joined a growing trend of subnational groups forming self-militia in Nigeria to protect their members from insecurity. Known as the Eastern Security Network, ESN, IPOB's new vigilante group was launched mid-December. The sole objective of the armed group was to halt every criminal activity and terrorist attack on Biafra land, in quote. But what we have seen in the last few days suggests to the contrary, as members of the group, now heavily armed with AK-47 assault rifles, are on the rampage attacking security personnel in the region. From what we can gather, a military operation is underway in the region to fish out those involved in the killings of some security personnel. And already the social media is awash with unverifiable videos and posts, mostly copy and paste, in order to cause further panic across the country. What are the legal framework for the establishment of such security outfits, and what was their terms of reference? I see how my guests in the studio are prolific writers, erudite gentlemen, and with their oratory skills.
Anyway, thank you.
You know, Dan Atai is still here, you know, in the middle, and from my far right is Peggy Shande. Gentlemen, welcome back to Security Dossier.
Yes.
You have seen what has been going on in the southeastern part of the country lately. Before now, the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, you know, has been referred to as a terrorist organization. Whatever indices were drawn to arrive at this conclusion is left for the authorities, you know, to decide. We cannot, you know, dispute that fact with them. But again, recent videos and pictures suggest that these guys were in a dense forest where trainings were held for them. They had parades, and only recently we found them, you know, parading sophisticated machine guns, AK-47, I mean assault rifles. What is the framework? How did this security outfit come to be, Mr. Peggy?
Thank you very much. You see, regional struggles is the bedrock for everything we're discussing here. If we have a problem in any region, it is as a result of regional dominance.
Yeah.
And I want to say to you that, and then the ideology that the Fulanis, being the headsmen, move around and they call the group that they belong to Mieti Allah.
Don't forget that the Mieti Allah is not just one group.
Yes.
You have Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, which is Makaban. You also have Mieti Allah Kautal Hore.
Yes.
Kautal Hore, just like you have, what do you call, Ohanese, socio-cultural group. You have Ohanese, you have the Oduas people, you have the Idoma National Forum, and you know, those kind of ethnic nationalities. That's Kautal Hore. Magban, your governor, your senator, your president, anybody who has cattle, who rears cattle, is a member of Magban. So we should always try to distinguish between the two. There's an ethnic struggle somewhere, you know, an ethnic identity, and then some people who have, who breed cows. So when you say Mieti Allah, don't forget that it's an ambiguous term.
That's a very good media lecture for the people to understand.
Okay.
But the ordinary Nigerian understand that Mieti Allah is Mieti Allah.
Okay.
But it's good that you told us that there are two of them. But however, the meaning of Mieti Allah is a Fulfulde interpretation, meaning that thank God for giving us the land.
Yeah. Not the land. Miyeti is thanks.
Thanks.
Thank God.
Allah
Is God. Thank God.
Not for giving us the land.
No, for whatever interpretation that they thank God for
No,
is about.
we will not be used to...
Conspiracy
Anyway, fine,
theory.
but for whatever it is, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're thanking God for what? That is left to whoever they're thanking God for,
okay.
and whatever it
For
is.
life.
For life, it can be anything. So
okay.
wherever they go to, they say, Mi'ati Allah. You speak a very good Fulani, and you speak very good Hausa too. I don't know any of those, but I understand interpretation.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is while the people are thanking God and moving about, feeling free, the other people are also looking at what these same people from the north have done to them. So they are looking for one single opportunity.
To thank God.
No, not to thank God on the side of the regions now.
Yeah.
They are looking at these people coming all the way from the north with these things, and then they are looking for the opportunity to strike them down for whatever annihilation and vendetta that they want to come with. Therefore, if there was a time this country was ever going to be divided and so quick, it is along ethnic, but most importantly, religious lines.
Yeah.
Therefore, South is dominated by Christians and the North is dominated by Muslim. That's why when you are talking about cross-capiting and movement, you know, everybody's looking at what they believe in and they're trying to hold back. Therefore, if the presidency has moved around the regions and has not moved to the east, ever, and if the Easterners can never be forgotten for the coup that they killed Ahmad Bello and killed all those great men, and just because they want to become president, and they are still clamoring that they want to be president, and then you are seeing that, okay, the West is looking at the East as, oh, they're saboteurs, just like Engineer Dan will always say, saboteurs. Then it is their time. Then the North is looking at, okay, it has to be a capacity. It doesn't matter whether it is regions that should have it now. It has finished from the North, it's going to the West, it has to go to the East, it has to go to the Middle Belt. Nobody cares about that. Therefore, in making you understand why IPOB comes up with this idea, strikes down. When they strike this one down, they come up with another. If the group you call the Eastern
Eastern Security Network.
Eastern Security Network is yet an agitation that is coming
up. Agitation that already are brandishing with AK-47.
Like what I'm saying now, the problem is
Amotekun was backed by law.
Yes.
Sorry to cut you.
Yes.
Amotekun in the southwest, I don't hold brief for any of these groups. In fact, I don't believe that any other I believe that the national security architecture should be able to solve our problems, right? The police, the DSS, Civil Defense Corps, even the prisons, they should be able to solve our problems, right? I do not believe that any security outfit should also be established to solve any problem.
Especially unconstitutional.
Yeah, unconstitutionally. Now, the Southwest came up with Amotekun. Yes, the houses of assembly in the region came together, passed a bill, and they all, ascended to it, and it was established. But up till this moment that I'm talking to you, I have yet to see an Amotekun operative with an AK-47.
Of course.
This one, a group, even the southeastern governors, Southeastern, they have not even ascended to this thing. They are even still kicking.
Let me tell you.
Now, a prohibited group came up and said a prohibited, in fact, it has been declared as a terrorist organization.
Yes, of course, yes.
Just like
all
Boko
of a
Haram.
sudden, in mid-December, these guys were
But they have never
trained.
declared Boko Haram a terrorist group.
It's another issue.
It's another issue.
No. You can't say that.
Okay, internationally, Boko Haram has been termed as a...
let's not even go into that.
Yes.
Because we're just going to
organization.
banter for nothing. But I'm just trying to make a point. A group proscribed as a terror organization recruited young men, trained them in the forest in mid-December, and all of a sudden today we see them with AK-47 assault rifles.
Okay, can I tell you something now? Please, just allow me to say something. Thank you for that observation. And they were trained in the bush. Somebody knew they were trained in the bush, nobody got to stop them. A coalition came together and said that this group is a terrorist group. Information coming up. Now, the governors did not condemn this group openly, like the coalition group came out. The coalition group came out and publicly said, this ESN is a terrorist group in the making coming up to divide Nigeria. Don't forget, as said here, that if there is any time this country is going to be split, it is along regional, ethnic lines and religion. I'm telling you the truth that what this group means is a silent information and communication to render this government as incapable in terms of security as possible.
They may not have.
And then finally, it is breaking down to the point where states will now begin to have their state police, and which is the last stroke that is going to divide this country.
In a situation where you can only be safe in your region or in your state, Mr. Dan, what's your take?
You see, it is a conflict of interest.
Correct.
That is actually going to affect the country. If the mainstream security framework does not act swiftly, just the way they are acting against Boko Haram now, if not for the Nigerian armed forces, by now Boko Haram would have taken over the country. You and I know that. But thank God, somehow, people that have not visited these northeastern and northwestern areas where the Boko Haram bandits and terrorists are perpetrating their activities would not know the effort or would not appreciate what the Nigerian army or armed forces are doing for us. Constituting parallel security outfit without legislation is illegal in any country. It also amounts or tantamount to what do you call it in
treason.
Treason. It's tantamount to treason. Is a treasonable felony. Now, however, in every action, there is an opposite reaction.
An opposite reaction.
Or equal reaction.
Yes, right.
That bettered this issue. That of the Southeast, the Eastern Security Network has never been legislated by any Eastern State Assembly. Neither has it been approved by any Eastern governors. But it is already ongoing.
In action.
In action. So, there is this conspiracy that perhaps what I earlier said on this very security dossier, that alternatively, the southeastern region have their own plan B. Should they fail to take the ticket 2023,
they will move on with the plan B.
They will move on with the plan B. But this threat posed by Eastern Security Network under IPOB would also make them fail quickly for any region to cede. Because if you do not put your house in order, the governors do not put the region in order. Because the governors are the first security chiefs of their states. Before you call the federal. Although we know that the sovereignty and the integrity of the country is supposed to be manned by the Nigerian armed forces. So if the army go there to dislodge the way they are dislodging Boko Haram now, people will begin to read another meaning to it. And say,
no, but how do we draw the line?
Hold on.
Please just drop it. We have just about 3 minutes to round up.
So, drawing the line, the armed forces will definitely do their work. And when you are talking about a Moteku may not have rifle, may not have AK-47, good. But when the rain begins, we will know who actually have a better umbrella.
Actually. Mr. Peggy, please.
Yes. Drawing the lines.
Yes.
Thank you very much again. I want to inform all the regions that are clamoring for importance, for whatever reasons, if it is not for presidency in 2023, and if it is regional autonomy, or for whatever thing that they want to agitate for. Buhari will still leave the presidency in 2023. So the headers who are feeling that this is their government, so they want to drink nono, drink nono. I enjoy drinking nono a lot. They pass around, and the Fulanis are beautiful. I love listening to them when they're talking.
It's politicians that began to instigate
this thing. And
we used to live with this same Fulani,
very well,
exchanging cassava, exchanging yam
for nono.
For nono, even for meat.
Where have we
you
got
understand?
this from?
Then suddenly this thing erupted from.
Who are the people?
It is a political scheme, an international scheme against the country.
Thank you. Let me finish up now. Where is the arm coming from? Or where are the arms coming from?
Without being intercepted?
When we have a border.
Now, that would be a story for another day.
For another day. Just a question.
Yes, please.
Then, two, why is the Sunday Igboho fighting them as we speak now, and the eastern region also generating a war machinery by recruiting people mid-December in the bush and coming, while we also have a problem in the far north as Boko Haram? This is a tripartite arrangement to tell Nigerians that, or the international community that, we want Nigeria no more, or Nigeria is expired, is just an assemblage of 36 states with one capital, and it has expired. Otherwise, the war that you said is going to come is going to come. The lines must be drawn by people understanding that, well, if Nigeria has to break, it has to break up properly.
We have National Assembly to do that.
But if it is not supposed to break, why is it not supposed to break? And if it is going to break, why is it going to break? Have they listened to the yearnings of these regions to attend to those issues? Otherwise, there's going to be very dangerous attendant consequences.
Yeah.
Maybe even the 2023
may not. Hold on.
We may not even finish up. We may not even get to the election. Nigeria will break before 2023.
Yeah. No.
If we don't attend to those issues.
No,
here.
that's what I'm trying to say, that ongoing at the National Assembly, the restructuring is ongoing. Restructuring, which is meaning that putting
go back to the drawing board.
Right.
Yes.
I said yesterday that the fact that the Constitution was written by just 47 persons and given to us like a military fiat again, and therefore they want it to be democratically oriented and accepted Constitution, and that is why the National Assembly is vested to doing that. The onus is for them to do that.
They are the ones to draw the line.
We all have representatives
in that place
at the National Assembly.
At the Unity House. They have the opportunity to draw the lines there.
Anybody from any quarter that wants to bring problem for Nigeria, the Nigerian Armed Forces should deal with them, decisively.
Yes, decisively. It is written there. Anybody messing up with this country, finish them. National Assembly, draw the line.
Gentlemen, I must thank you so very much for coming on the program today.
Thank you.
You have made the conversation very heated, and I believe that our viewers and those who are writing in, unfortunately we can't take in all the comments. There are so many comments, loads of comments coming in from the email, from the Facebook platform, and what have you, and Twitter. So we're not able to take all of them today. Mr. Danatai, welcome to Security Dossier.
Thanks for having me.
Peggy Shandy. It will always be a pleasure to have you here again.
I think it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Drawing the line. Drawing the line. What is the role of politicians and security agencies in helping to mitigate the growing crisis, the political crisis that we are already experiencing? How do we come together as Nigerians, as the media, to, provide a positive narrative to be able to stem the tide? Don't forget that Nigeria remains the only country that we can call our own. No other country can accept us as we are. We must, as much as we can, try to safeguard and protect the integrity of Nigeria wherever we are. In case of an outbreak of war or crisis, where do we run to? This is just for us to ponder. This is the much we can take on Security Dossier today. My name is Lawrence Audu. Until we come your way with another exciting edition of the program, please stay with us. Goodbye.